This is on Imagination with the Healing Garden. 10:24 a.m. on the 15th of December. I need to do an audio dissertation of this particular one. So I was a narcissist and I just cured narcissism. It is definitely a perspective shift. And it is not at all what we think it is. That is the problem. We are going to call this a false image, which is what the internet or the public depicts narcissism. And it is wrong. There is borderline personality disorder. And that is actually what narcissism is. An empath is the narcissist. God, this is a fucking mess. Inside the mind of the narcissist is severe desperation. Addiction to love. And an obsession with romanticism. Romantic. Oh, you fucking asshole. The word romantic is actually a misnomer for the glorification of narcissism. It is literally the doorway to narcissism. I had so much anomaly around the word romantic, Roman. And I'm just like, what does that even mean? Why do we associate romance with Rome? It's in our word, people. You don't think Rome is involved? It's in our fucking word. We romanticize love. It isn't love, it's narcissism. Romance is narcissism. And we become so obsessed with the romance that we think it's love. It's not. It's narcissism. I was the superhero for 6 months when I ended up in the mental hospital. And then from there, I became the damsel in distress who needed saving. And my superhero swooped in and saved me and said, use me to heal. Because of the romanticism, I glorified that deed. And I put him on a pedestal. And I said, don't leave me. Abandonment. But in my perspective, I viewed him as a perfect God to my answer. In reality, I was his parasite who drained him with need. But my need, I thought, was romantic love. Oh, but it is Roman love, narcissism. And our entire culture revolves around it. So that when he finally left me, I twisted every type of romantic ideal around it, desperate to preserve it. Inside the perspective of borderline and the empath, the borderline sufferer describes a monster. That monster is the false image that is passed around the internet, depicting narcissism. So we're all looking for this false image, this monster. It's a fiction. It doesn't exist. It is a monster described by the narcissist as a wild goose chase, a red herring. So we're all looking for this fictitious monster. Oh, fuck, Socrates, you were a fucking genius. We were all looking for this fictitious monster without even realizing that we are the monsters. We are so distracted by looking for this monster while we become the monster. So I'm going to show you what the monster really looks like, because now I can see it. The real monster feels terrified, feels lost, feels like they have no home. They have disbelief when someone cares. And all they want to do is show their gratitude and appreciation by pouring all of their love and gratitude into the superhero. About 3 months in, a new fear takes hold. The fear of vulnerability, the fear of loss, and the fear of scarcity, the fear of abandonment, and the fear of being thrown away. You feel so close to someone finally that you will do anything to hold on to them, not realizing that that desperation, that determination to keep them enslaves them. You become so obsessed and so focused on loyalty and love and preservation and servitude that you destroy them. You lash out. You scream. You may become violent. You become paranoid. You hate. in worst case scenarios, you torture, you enslave, and you kill. Because you go from superhero, who's a giver, fear turns you into a desperate, hoarding taker. Borderline is the process before you become a full-blown narcissist without an off switch. Vulnerable narcissism and borderline personality are the exact same thing. Empath is a narcissist who is primed for conversion. It is our generous and giving heart that is the red herring. That is the toxin. And in most cases, we just came out of another relationship or another encounter with a fully converged narcissist. And that narcissist began the process to turn us over from superhero to damsel in distress for the next victim. It is the condition that literally turns superheroes and givers into takers. But because we are all obsessed with looking for the narcissist monster that we all have described that doesn't exist, none of us realize what it really looks like. The empath is the narcissist. It's us. It's you. It was me. It is the limiting belief if this is not love or real, then what does it matter? If this is not real, then what is? That is the logical fallacy. It is something to believe in because it destroys hope. Which is why sufferers of borderline personality disorder, so many of them kill themselves. It's literally death by love. It is literally infection by love. But it is not love at all. Love is value without gain or profit. Narcissism, borderline personality disorder, empaths, they only value for gain or profit. Remove all value, remove all gain or profit, and what's left? Every empath and borderline is the narcissist. And we glorify it. We glorify romance. And we glorify empath. And we glorify love. Abandonment does not exist. Only the fear of abandonment exists. It's the fear of nothing. It's the fear of fiction. We are stories, after all. More specifically, we are true stories. And our greatest fear is fiction. Or no story at all. Wow.